Daniel, how are you today?
I'm better than I've been all week because I'm in Houston, Texas.
I love Houston. I'm not from here originally either, but I've been here 4 years and I'm planning on never living anywhere else.
Where are you from?
I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania
Awesome.
originally.
I'm New Jersey, so we have a little bit of that niceness in us from the East Coast.
Yes, I just don't like the cold, so I love it that it's always warm here, but for the most part. But thank you for letting me have a chance to interview you today. I'm interviewing Daniel today for Houston Fashion Examiner, Live Life and Style, and Houston Fashion Bloggers. Daniel, is it Musto? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Musto. Biatch, you can call me whatever.
My name is always mispronounced since birth. I've had everything from Shalander to Shalonda, and it's just weird. But today, Daniel is here at Macy's to host the Spring Essentials Fashion event with Joy Sewing. So I want to ask you a couple questions. So how amazing is it to be so successful at such a young age, and how do you handle all of your fame?
I definitely feel that my age was a disadvantage to me for a while because I was so young as I was doing everything, but I fought through it. And I think once you hit the 26, 27 mark, people start to take you seriously. So luckily I'm 27 now, and people, don't assume that I'm bad at what I do based upon my age. They actually give me a chance and realize that, I have been doing this now for almost 10 years. So it's been a long road, but quick road at the same time. I look at it as many, many hard jobs that I completed, and I was nice through them all to everybody. And once you're nice to people and you do a good job, they want you back, and they're hungry for more because everybody wants to go to work and laugh all day.
Right. If you don't enjoy your job, then what's the point of getting up and going to work?
Exactly.
So, well, you're not that much different in age from me. I just turned 29 in February, and I always get mistaken for still being in high school because I look so young.
Hell yeah.
Do you have that issue too, where people actually think you're younger than you really are?
It's funny. Some people think I'm younger when they don't know anything about me. I was even carded once. Like 6 months ago, I went to a concert that was 18 and up. And they didn't ask anyone in my group for their ID except for me. I was like, my eye cream is working.
Right, I will enjoy that when I'm 50.
I called Keel and I was like, I need a year's supply of this stuff. But
awesome.
I definitely, when people know what I do, before they meet me, they immediately assume I'm older and I just look great for my age. So awesome. That's, it goes both ways, I guess.
Very nice. So when did you first know that you wanted to have a career in fashion?
I always enjoyed it. I spent most of my childhood at the mall. I'm so comfortable at the mall. It's like home no matter what city I'm in. If I'm in a mall, I don't care if no one speaks my language. I feel safe and secure because, once the credit card comes out, it speaks one language.
Right. Everybody likes the credit card.
Exactly. So I spent most of the time in the mall with my mom in New Jersey, where I'm from. And I always enjoyed shopping with her, and then I started enjoying shopping for myself as I got older. And then I was the captain of my dance team in high school, and it was all hip-hop dance. And I loved doing that, and we had, 50 students, 50 team members who I also needed to design the costumes for. So as much as I was choreographing and performing, I was also designing the costumes. So that's when I realized, and I started studying at FIT. I studied fashion design during high school on the weekends. In New York, I would take the train in.
So that's how you got into costume designing. That's pretty neat.
Mm-hmm.
I was in it wasn't really a dance troupe, but I was on Winter Garden in high school, which we kind of danced and we spun flags.
I like that.
And then we had
a good little arm workout.
It is. I was all fit in high school. I don't know what happened. And then we had a partner dance team called Energy that we always went to competitions through high school and did the dancing on the weekend. It was always a lot of fun costumes and everything. But I guess so you do costume designing and styling.
Yeah, so what happens is as a stylist, you find out that you are hungry for some new things that aren't on the market. So what I do, I'm not a great drawer. I can do a quick sketch to give you an idea that it's a human being that will be wearing the clothes. But I have great seamstresses, and I'm great at picking fabrics, and, you kind of show examples of, it should be similar to what this is, but let's do a different fabric, raise the hemline, switch up the neckline, and you could even change where the waist hits. And then you design your own thing. So that's where the costume design comes into play, especially in TV, because in TV, sometimes you're working with networks and producers who are looking for something very specific and it's not on the market, and you need to just make it.
So that's really what the difference is between costume design, because my first initial thought was costume design. I automatically thought theater and vibrant, crazy circus.
The technical term for someone who styles for television is costume designer, because it is a costume being worn, and even in reality television, it's now costuming is the word for
okay.
styling in TV, which was new for me when I got into television. But it's fun. And even if you look at the billboard for Fashion Star, where our host Louise Rowe is wearing a mint green snake dress, that was actually inspired by another dress that she had. And we said, we love the lines on that, but we love a different fabric, and we'd like to show a little more skin. So she and I collaborated and came up with that, and now it's everywhere. It's in this store.
Oh, that's awesome. How is working with her?
She's wonderful. I'm so glad that she came onto the show. Yeah. She's definitely extremely charismatic, and she loves to think outside of the box when it comes to clothing. She also is the only person I know who refuses to wear black.
Oh, really?
She won't wear black. She wears a black lace dress on the show, but because it had such interesting details, that was okay, because it wasn't just solid black. It was almost more about the skin showing through it than it was that it was black. So that I never thought I'd meet someone.
Yeah, I'm all about black.
Yeah, hello, I'm wearing it right now.
I try to add some more color. I added
living
some
in my black
pop
Levi's.
of pink, right? So what would you say is the biggest difference between doing runway stylist work and wardrobe stylist work?
Runway styling is interesting because it's all about walking. If you are dressing a host, sometimes they have to move around a bit, but they're typically staying in one place, and you don't have to think about how the clothes move. But when you style for the runway, you definitely have to think, how will these clothes walk down the runway? Will they flow? Will they fall? Will they raise? If there's an elastic waistline, sometimes they shift, and you want to make sure it looks great from the moment they leave the back of the runway till they do their 18 spins and poses and make their way back for the next change.
Oh, okay. I never really thought about the movement of it as being the main factor as opposed to just creative eye, but you do have to take all that into consideration.
Yeah, we always say, how will that look walk?
Right, with movement and everything.
As though there's no human inside of it.
Okay, so are there any celebrities or fashion designers that you haven't worked with yet that you would love to work with?
As much as I love working with celebrities, I love also working with real women, and that's why I love working with Macy's. And I think a great person who I could have fun with would be like Britney Spears. I would love to dress her. I've hung out with her before, and she was so fun and so easygoing, and she reminded me of every girl I went to high school with that I love so much, but she's a pop star, so I would love to, be her buddy and guide her through fashion and choices and show her what's the best while still sticking true to who she is, because I think that's why we love her so much, because she's her. She's her. She's not changing for nobody. And then there's designers like, who do I love? I love when designers do lines for stores like Macy's, H&M, and Target. I think that it would be really fun to collaborate on that level, because I like the masses. I think you have more quality of life if you're feeding the masses as opposed to the kings. Right. And I think, it could work out for everyone. So that's on my horizon, hopefully.
Oh, that'll be neat. I'll be looking forward for that. I definitely love the designer Macy's or any of collaboration from H&M or Target, because it does reach people like us who can we could pay for those. And
there's even like Camilla Alves for INC is great, because it involves the INC brand and customer, but it's derived from her creative everything. I've dressed her before too, and she just looked great and everything.
Yeah, she's probably very nice. Easy to dress. Her shape, her body shape is amazing. Right. So how did you kind of work on the popular shows Fashion Star and Ready for Love?
Fashion Star came along through a connection I had made when I was styling for Vogue and CFDA for runway purposes. So they do a big show in Pebble Beach every year, and I had styled that, and through some team members there that had then years later, this is maybe 5 years later, got involved with Fashion Star. My name had been buzzing around the office as a potential stylist for the show, and I got the job on a Sunday at 7 p.m. and I was on camera at 7 a.m. the next day.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, what a whirlwind. You don't know when you wake up in the morning what the day's going to throw at you. So that happened, and then luckily the same producers that did, the same, you call her a showrunner, who took control of Fashion Star the first season, she went on to do Ready for Love and trusted that I'd be able to carry out the visions of everybody and really bring a dating show to a fashion level. So they wanted it to look like it was straight out of a magazine every episode. So we have 3 matchmakers who I love dressing because they're new on the scene, and we created an image for all of them, so that's always really fun. And then we have 3 bachelors. One of them already is a rock star from the Plain White Tees. His name is Tim Lopez. But the other 2 are businessmen, so creating an image for the businessmen while sticking true to the roots of the rock star.
Right.
And then Giuliana and Bill Rancic are our hosts. So, of course, they have a image already, but now it's for huge network television. So we needed to amp it up a step and take it to other places, and that was a lot of fun. And then we got 36 girls looking for love. And as much as they would dress themselves, I like to lend a hand here and there when they needed me.
That would be fun to be on one of those shows. And that just seems like very exciting life. That you said you just don't know what's going to happen day to day. Spontaneous, just exciting.
I get calls probably 3 times a week that really shift the road I walk on. It's almost like when Dorothy in Wizard of Oz meets the Scarecrow, and she can go that way or that way.
Right.
And she meets a buddy that says, go that way. No, go that way. And it's all confusing. And you're like, before I return this call, what do I really want?
Right.
And you figure it out, and it leads you places. It's interesting.
Well, that's great. Just a couple more questions.
Of course.
What inspires you when it comes to your costume design creations?
People watching more than anything. I'd rather be inspired by the people of different cities that are in shopping areas and downtown areas of cities, and really pull in what they're doing for their everyday lives, as opposed to magazines. Of course, I love a magazine, and everybody loves to browse, but you really get to see the clothes turn into life on real people. So that really does it for me, especially when I'm working on TV shows where we're working with real people.
That's one reason I got into blogging, is because I like seeing it. I do love magazines. I love them. I'll probably never stop reading them. But I like seeing how people take their own individual style and their own, and blogging is so many different sizes, shapes, ethnicities, and so it's just like real women, real
Everywhere.
clothing.
There's no limits to
Right.
the blogging, and just as much as there's no limits to what you can choose to wear. So we have freedom to dress, don't we?
Right. And then the last question is, if you weren't in the fashion industry, is there any other career you would consider?
Oh boy, I feel as though there were so many I wanted as a kid. I wanted to be an acrobat, and then I realized I couldn't do cartwheels, so that was out of the question. And then I wanted to be a dancer, as I told you earlier, but I had a messed up back, and I said, I'd rather not push my luck. So those are both in the direction of where I wanted to go. But I definitely see, if I wasn't a stylist, I would probably like to source internationally for companies based upon the trends that are happening in different countries. I know that big companies, even like for Jessica Simpson's company, they send people to different countries. For Nicole Richie's companies, they send them to different countries to buy things that can inspire the next collection from markets and different cultures, and that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds
similar to what I do, but a little different. The schedule would be different and all.
All right, well, Daniel, thank you so much for letting me interview you today, and I look forward to your presentation later.
Thank you.